Now, I would like to introduce Diti Ronen.
I'm here, sorry.
Oh, okay, yes. Yes, her institutional background is the Hebrew University, but she is not only or not a typical scholar in the meaning that in a period of her life she was involved in the Israeli cultural policy because she was advisor or employed person in the Ministry of Culture as a cultural advisor. And now she will bring now cultural topic, if I see. It's your flow.
Thank you very much. And thank you for inviting me to participate in this conference. I'm a Jewish poet from Israel, so I'm not a historian, but as a daughter of a Hungarian Holocaust survivor, a meaningful part of my poetry has to do with the last year of the Second World War. Towards the end of 1944, after the Red Army victory in Stalingrad, the Germans were forced to evacuate the camps in the Eastern European regions, and mass transports of Jews were brought to Stutthof, destined for extermination. The greatest number of transports to arrive in Stutthof, mostly of women, came from Auschwitz. My mother, Edith Friedman, a beautiful young woman, was among those 50,000 Jews that entered Stutthof during 1944. The story of my mother was never told directly, as she never spoke about it in an orderly, chronological way. There were memories that emerged suddenly, uncontrolled, usually in the night, and they disappeared by morning when she made up her face and went, elegant and proud, to perform her teaching position. I arrived at the Stutthof archive on my search for more information about her journey during the last year of the war and the months following the war, when she was still wandering, homeless, being forced into the hunger march and then running away from Russian soldiers. From my search in the Stutthof archives, I realized that she arrived at the Stutthof death camp from Auschwitz on July 20, 1944. After being in Auschwitz for more than months, seeing her beloved mother, father, her young cousins and other members of the family taken away from her and sent to the gas chambers, she was very weak, hungry, cold, and frightened. My mother stayed there at least until November 23rd, when her beloved aunt, Elizabeth Just, died. I know it because she told me about this death. This I have also learned from digging in the archive, the date of the death of Elizabeth Just. The plan to exterminate all the new arrivals failed due to the typhus epidemic. The crematorium could not keep up with disposing of corpses. The prisoners who managed to endure the starvation, humiliation, cold, beating, and disease were waiting for the death. At the end of November 44, My mother was crammed into one of the 20 unnamed sub-camps to dig trenches against the Russian tanks. There, in the excessive work of the Hoch and Tiefbau sub-camp, in a forest near Elblag, she saw for the first time a sign of hope. The poem Littlebird that I'm going to read now tells about this hope. I will try to share this, the poem on the screen. Let's see if it works. Okay, it works. Little bird, begin from above, slowly, in a blue so light, and wide and big and white. Begin with infinity, begin with the sky, with the bird. Look, she is taking off, one bird, little, look, there she flies. Begin and open. The entire sky is in front of her. Begin with the bigness. Yes, begin big, from above, big. Begin with the all-seeing point of view, the innocent point of view, the point of view of God, who does not see the detail. Were there other birds? Was there a chirp? There was, surely there was. There, another bird taking off. Begin with the horizon. Do you still see it? Do you still see on it any wisp of smoke? No, it is not dusk yet. You cannot see a thing. And the horizon is far, and the sea is close, and the sun is in mid-sky. Now treetops peek out, appearing. Begin with the treetops. They spread evergreen. Their fingers yearn for the tall, the divine, the God looking upon them, for the bird. Did the sun indeed shine? And what was the shape of the cloud? God, watching, did he notice the bird? Begin with the tree, with the bough. See how it hugs the trunk, leaning on it ever so trustingly. It too is quiet, slightly moved by the wind, cuddling itself softly, humming the sounds of its origins. Have you noticed the nest? Have you seen the nestling? Begin with the tree next to it. Remember the bird? It descends here to sit on a bough. Begin with her. No. Begin with the tree. No. Begin with the tree next to her tree. Begin with more trees, many trees, a forest. Now look from above. Can you see the forest clearing? Look, there are lager barracks there. Begin with the barrack. It does not matter which one. They are all alike. Begin with the 10th barrack. Look, a handsome woman now leaves it. Her walk is proud. Did you draw her? Draw her pretty, please. Pretty, bold, and proud. Did you see? Her round face turned slender, accentuating big blue eyes. She looks up, sees blue skies, sneaking between the treetops that you drew, and the tip of a cloud, shaped like a longing. She notices in detail, remembers scent and flavor, color and sound before, thinking spring, sees the bird passing in front of her, gliding, her wings spread open. Begin with the officer. Draw him tall. Accentuate his face, please. It is squared. Draw his strong jaw, his chin sticking out. Now the hair, carefully done, his hat hanging in a slopey elegance. Have you seen his uniform? The emblems on his sleeves. Begin with the rifle. The officer holds the rifle in his hands. He stands by the barrack, the rifle in his hand. Now he lifts the weapon, aiming to the sky, pressing his cheek against the weapon, closing a non-aiming eye and searching. Draw him tall and very straight. He looks through the crosshair, up. He is searching. What shall he shoot now? The bird now stands on a branch. Draw him looking, draw the look. He moves, turning to the woman. Look. He forgets his mark. His muscles relax. Draw the gun descending, slipping down his arms. Draw the firing position fading. He looks at the woman, her walk so proud, dressed in a sack with a simple waistband. He looks at the woman. She does not see him, walking forward to the latrine, her gaze fixed on the bird. Draw him looking at the woman, looking at the train of her walk, the ripples sent forth from her behind. There she has entered the latrine. He once again lifts his weapon, determined, indifferent to the ripples, indifferent to the train of her behind. Did you see? Once again, he presses his cheek. And although it is spring in the world, and perhaps because of the cold still, he closes one eye. Watch, he aims, concentrate, aims, and the bird, oh, the bird. Her exactly. And shoots. Did you draw it? Could you draw her sinking? Here, there, so close, right by, her body like God landing softly, unheard. Begin with the woman. She hears a shot, one, and it's echoing, knocking at her temples, thundering to the ends of the forest and back. Was she heard? Draw the sound, the bang, draw her anxiety, draw her leaving the latrine. She walks. There, she walks. She is unhurt, stands up and fixes the stack on her body, straightens her back, looks. The bird is gone. She sends a worried look. What was the shot? She worries about her friends, stepping quickly into the barrack to arrive inside, to return. Begin with the woman. No, begin again with the officer. His gaze returns to the woman. She hurries her step, looking around frightened, anxious, her pace a near run. He still looks at her, amazed, bending down, spellbound, lifts the bird from the ground. She is twitching, her body still warm, feels her weight, how tiny she is and so pretty. Now he hands the bird to the woman. Now please draw the woman. Hurry. Now everything happens quickly. He takes the bird as though it was planned, as though it was obvious, as though the bird was meant for her. She takes the bird in her hand without shaking. She takes the bird without so much as a look. She takes the bird, opens the barrack door, and enters, now running, breathless, to her friends, a little bird in her hand. The door is now open, and she sees they are not hurt. Now they are all inside. They worried about her. What was the shot? Now they are all inside, and the little bird dead. Now they are all inside, and the little bird held in her hand. Begin with the woman's friend. No, begin with the Blockalteste. She is Czech, religious, short, hides her daughter in a little cabin. She is good. Begin with the baking oven. No, begin with the bird. Begin with the pot. No, begin with the bird. Who plucked the feathers out? Why should the feathers be plucked? And what does the Blockalteste have to do with the bird? Begin from the beginning. Begin with the bird. Please draw for me a little bird. No, please draw for me a little pot. No, please draw for me a little oven. Look, inside the belly of the oven is a pot, and inside the belly of the pot is a bird. Now you don't have to draw. Begin with the woman's friend. No, begin with the woman. The woman is still shocked. The barrack door is closed. Her eyes grow accustomed to the darkness. She looks at her friends, holds the bird. No, begin with the woman's friend. She's older. No, not that old. She's still young, just a little bit more mature. She takes the bird from the woman's hands and walks over to the Blockalteste. Watch her, how she grabs the little bird, elevating it ever so slightly and hinting to the little oven. Gently, and awaits understanding, elevates and hints to the little pot. She has time, elevates slowly and hints to the margarine. Lightly tilts her head to the right, elevates, pauses, and hints to the flour. She has patience for pepper and for salt. Look, now they are huddling a sweet secrecy. Draw the gaze, draw the hunger, draw the secret, draw the agreement, draw the hope, the hunger. Begin with the hunger. No, begin with the bird. No, begin with the woman, with the officer, the gun, with the barrack, with the oven, the pot, the bird, with the begin already. Come on, begin. Begin with the memory. Begin with the quiet, in silence. Begin with muteness. Begin with the silence, the silences. No, don't begin. Just be silent and don't begin, and never say a thing. Don't write and don't draw a thing. Forget all that you've said and be silent. Erase all that you've written and be silent. Erase and forget, forget and erase and be silent. And let go of the barrack, let go of the officer, let go of the woman, let go of the hunger, let go of the gaze, let go of hope. Leave the silences, leave the voices, and don't think oven or pot, and don't touch story or song. Expel the bird, God, swallow the words and be silent. Forget, erase, and don't speak. And if you must, begin at least with noiseless, in your head, in a whispering. Begin with the longing, the yearning. Do you know what bechinalt is? Of course you do. Begin with the bechinalt. Draw its aroma rising, spreading from the house, spreading through the house. rising from the pot, leaving the kitchen, crawling to the living room, reaching all the way to the carpet, to the radio, to the search for a relative program, making the senses lose their mind, begin in the afternoon, draw the little apartment in give a time, the sun moves to a diagonal, and the light breeze comes from the sea. Begin with mother in the afternoon, draw her cooking, a wooden spoon in hand, explaining to me about flour and how to make rocks. Begin with mother, afternoon, draw her tall by the stove, draw her closely, close, draw her touching me. Begin with mother, afternoon, draw her pretty on high heels. It's the hour of the day when sometimes, having stopped by the butcher's and having bought some chicken, she would cook bechamel from a littlebird that she got from an officer with the taste of much, so much, a very much time. The poem was translated by my son, Elazar Tal Ronen, and edited by Lynn Dion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, it's a different thing in that meaning to ask question for a poem and for that so personal thing. So I wouldn't say that's the questions, but perhaps some comment or some thought or some impression, right, for the audience. But if not, I think it's absolutely understandable. So
yes, it's okay.
Thank you very much for your lecture.